So your Swiss itinerary includes both Lucerne and Interlaken, and you want to squeeze a panoramic train journey into your trip? Then you are definitely going to want to hop on board the Luzern-Interlaken Express. This scenic train ride links those two Swiss destinations while passing 5 different lakes, a few noteworthy villages, and of course, endless waterfalls and mountains. It's even part of the Grand Swiss Train Tour.
Today we're starting in Luzerne and we want to take you along for the journey. We're going to show you where to board, give you a seat tour, and help you decide if you should hop off the train along the way at a few villages or lakes. And of course, we'll discuss tickets and passes and seat reservations too. By the way, if you're looking for things to do in Luzerne, check out our Luzerne playlist on YouTube or our one-day city guide to Luzerne on our website.
If we haven't met, we're Janet and Brett, Aplins in the Alps, and we help you travel Switzerland with confidence. We live near Interlaken, so we've actually taken this exact scenic train ride at least a dozen times, which means we are very familiar with all of the things you need to know. And our very first tip is to arrive at the station early. This train often sits at the platform for at least 10 minutes before departure. And since it can be busy, it's best to arrive early so you can snag a good seat on the correct side of the train. The Luzern-Interlaken Express runs hourly between Luzern-Bahnhof and Interlaken-Oost in both directions without any train changes.
First, let's start with a little seat tour. The first-class carriages, which are usually on both ends of the train, have a 2-1 seat configuration, while the second-class carriages have a 2-2 layout. Each seating area has a small table, drink holders, Swiss outlets, and a trash can. All wagons have panoramic windows so you can truly soak in the views. Although there is air conditioning, these wide windows also mean it can get a little warm during the summer. Speaking of views, just a few minutes after you depart from Luzerne, you'll pass Lake Luzerne and Lake Alpnach on your left.
But don't be fooled, you actually want to pick a seat on the right side of the train for the very best views. And if you board in Interlaken-Oost, you also want to pick a seat on the right side. I know this sounds counterintuitive, but the train actually switches the direction of travel along the way, which is why the right side is the best side no matter where you depart from.
In addition to sharing our train experience with you, we're going to show you 5 potential stops along the Luzern-Interlaken Express route. Now, most of you are probably not going to get off at all 5 stops, but we'll give you an idea of what to do there and why it might be worth hopping off the train.
Also, if you buy a standard point-to-point ticket, you can hop on and off as many times as you like, as long as you make one continuous journey and don't backtrack. It's helpful to know that the train only stops for a minute or 2 at each station, so you can't just pop out and explore for 5 minutes, or you'll discover that the train has left you behind.
18 minutes after you depart from Luzerne, the train stops in Sarnen. This is a charming small town that's perfect to wander if you enjoy classic Swiss architecture or small shops. Of course, there are plenty of restaurants and a fantastic Brett-approved coffee shop too. You can walk up the hill to the Landerberg Castle for expansive views over the city, go for a swim or a boat ride on the lake, or, our favorite activity here, rent city bikes and just go exploring.
Most of you will probably be traveling this route with luggage. There are luggage racks near the doors, but you can also store your bags in the overhead bins or between the seats. Also, if the train is really full, which it definitely can be at certain times of day, please do not occupy a seat or block the aisle with your luggage. And all of the stops that we're mentioning, except for one, also have luggage lockers that you can rent in the station for a small fee. We'll drop links to those details in our blog if you want more information.
There are multiple bathrooms on the train as well, and they're all pretty similar and pretty comparable to other train bathrooms in Switzerland. You might also see this Ollie and Livia children's magazine on the trains, or you can ask the staff for it. Unfortunately, it's all in German, but your kids might still enjoy the coloring pages and the activities too.
45 minutes after you depart from Lucerne, you'll arrive at one of Jana's all-time favorite lakes, Lungern. If you like beautiful lakes or scenic walks, then this is the place for you. Unfortunately, this is the one stop that doesn't have luggage lockers. But if you're not traveling with luggage, then we think it's worth hopping off the train at Kaiserstuhl and walking the 6-kilometer, 1.5-hour easy path counterclockwise along the lake until you reach the Lungern train station, where you can hop back on the Luzern-Interlaken Express later. In addition to the most stunning little lake nestled in the mountains, You can also go swimming, play mini golf, or let your kids run around the playground at Park Luzern. Walk up to the Dundelbach waterfall, or scope out a pretty incredible church in town.
And now it is time for lunch. There's a bistro in the middle of the train that serves breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, drinks. It's basically like a mini restaurant. Of course, you can dine there in the bistro, or you can bring your food with you back to your seat like we did today because we have our luggage with us. Depending on the season and your direction of travel, the bistro is open as early as 7 a.m. and as late as 7 p.m.
While we eat, we're steadily climbing on the cogs up to the highest point of our journey at 1,001 meters, the Brunig Pass. It's fun to look out the windows on this part of the ride, but honestly, there's not much at the top, so there's no need to get off the train here.
An hour and 15 minutes after departing in Luzern, we arrive in Meiringen. This is where the train pulls into the station, the connector goes from the front to the back of the train, and then we depart on the other direction. But don't worry, you'll still be happy to have a seat on the right side of the train. But if you enjoy gorges, waterfalls, or Sherlock Holmes, you'll want to hop off and explore Meiringen more. First, meringue is believed to have been invented here, so you should definitely buy some from a local bakery. You can also grab a local beer, climb a medieval tower, wander through the Our Gorge, or snap a pic with Sherlock Holmes. In fact, you can even visit Reichenbach Falls where, spoiler alert, Sherlock supposedly plummeted to his death during a duel, or tour the small Sherlock Holmes Museum in town.
The number one question travelers ask us is about train passes and tickets. So let's explain the details while we show you the views from Meiringen to our next stop. A one-way second-class ticket on the Luzern-Interlaken Express costs 34 Swiss francs full price, or 17 francs with the half-fare card. This route is completely free with the Berner Oberland Pass, the Tel Pass, the Swiss Travel Pass, SBB Day Pass, and Saver Day Pass. A one-way first-class ticket costs 58 francs full price, or 29 francs with the half-fare card. If you're traveling with the second-class Berner Oberland Pass, Tel Pass, Swiss Travel Pass, or Day Pass and want to ride in first class, then you'll need to pay for a class upgrade. Kids ages 6 to 15 pay half price, or ride with you for free if you have the Swiss Family Card. As always, kids under 6 are completely free. You can easily buy these tickets on the SBB app, online on the Luzern tourism website, from a ticket machine, or at most train stations in Switzerland.
We know that Swiss train passes and tickets can be ultra confusing, so if you have any questions, be sure to check out our ultimate guide to Swiss transportation, which will answer not only your first question, but the next 5 that you haven't even thought to ask yet.
By the way, here's a bonus transportation tip. If you're traveling from Zurich to Interlaken, it's actually cheaper and more scenic to train from Zurich to Lucerne and then ride the Luzern-Interlaken Express. It does add about an hour to your trip, but at full price, this route is 20 francs cheaper one way than the normal route from Zurich to Interlaken via Bern. And this trick works in both directions too.
An hour and a half after leaving Luzern comes the village of Brienz. Consider stopping here if you'd like to finish your journey to Interlaken by boat, or want to stash your luggage in the lockers while you walk the waterfront promenade, stroll the second most beautiful street in the world, or visit the small but popular wood carving museum. But that's not all Brienz has to offer, which is why we've filmed an entire video here that you can watch later.
We're now passing by the 5th and final lake along this journey, so let's once again show you the views while we chat about seat reservations. Seat reservations are not required for the Luzern-Interlaken Express, and in most cases, we don't think you need them, as long as you can arrive in the Lucerne or Interlaken Oost station about 10 to 15 minutes before the train departs to snag a seat. But if you'll have a short connection and want to make a seat reservation, you'll need to do it online since this cannot be done on the SBB mobile app. You can buy your ticket and a seat reservation at the same time online if that's convenient for you, and we've included the link in our blog. Just don't forget to book a seat on the right side of the train. During peak summer season from mid-May to the end of October, seat reservations cost 16 francs and they're 12 francs during the rest of the year. And in most cases, they can be made up to 6 months in advance. If you do show up without a reservation and the train is already really full, just remember that you can always buy a seat upgrade on the spot to ride in first class, which usually has more space and less people.
After a lovely 2 hours on the Luzern-Interlaken Express, you reach the final stop at Interlaken Oost. This is our hometown area, and there are loads of things to do here, which you can see in our complete Jungfrau region playlist. But this scenic train route actually continues all the way to Montreux and Lake Geneva on the Golden Pass Express Panoramic train, which you can learn more about here. And we'll see you on the trains in Switzerland.